Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is a scene for Sept of the Howling Wind, being played primarily by NPCs. But it's a bit of flavor for you guys. So this scene starts off with the soon-to-be beta, or no, he is the beta, the soon-to-be alpha of the Sept of the Howling Wind. In a pure jaunt of curiosity, going to the Sept of the Golden Stairs in Martha's Vineyard, all the way in Massachusetts. The reason he's going there is because one of the newer Sept members is from there. His name's Camden Monroe. And he mentioned that his grandfather is a Judge of Doom. And Dev realizes that he is in a position in which he needs the guidance and counsel of a Philodox, seeing that he is about to come into the position of supreme authority in a Sept that is looking to abolish the first law of the Litany. If you're going to get anybody's opinion, you might as well go to the top. Let's get the worst of the worst out of the way. So he packed up his overnight bag, I imagine, and hit that moon bridge.
Sure did. And he, on the way there, is thinking that he either made the best or worst decision of his entire fucking life. But you know what? Go big or go home. I'm in a rune.
Balls to the walls. Fortune favors the bold. Let's go.
Got coggy balls of steel. It's fine. So yeah, he goes to fucking Moonbridge and ends up in Massachusetts, where it's probably cold as fuck right now. Because it is October.
It's really annoying.
No?
So as
well, fuck that.
as he is coming into the decline, the approach to this Sept, the hair on the back of his neck begins to stand, and he can hear it at the edge of his perception, the sound of constant low thrumming, basically a pulse of power. It sounds a bit like if your brain had to try to process what it was, thunder. And every once in a while, in the corner of his vision, he can see flashes of light. As he gets closer, he notices that the trees are heavy, and he can see the flap of wings. Storm crows looking down at him. Yes, looking down at him. One will fly off towards the direction of a point of light, golden shining in the distance. The destination of this moon bridge. As he nears, he gets the sense he's being watched. Not so much a menacing presence, but certainly there.
Oh yeah, I picked that up for sure. Dev is normally a very calm and collected man, and it takes a lot to jar him. But he's uneasy. He's not like completely paranoid yet, but he's feeling a little uneasy, yeah. As he's like thinking to himself, I grew up a stargazer.
As he nears the shimmering membrane of the exit to the moon bridge, he sees someone step through. A very large woman in her glabro form, her face rough, her smile jagged, but she has a very beautiful savagery in her glabro form. Her hair spills around her shoulders, thick black with streaks of gray. And she'll tilt her head and look at him, sniff. You can tell that she's sensing the presence of the worm. Basically just getting a feel for him. And in a very guttural tone, she'll say, I am Midnight's Darkness, warder of the Sept, Athro of the Shadow Lords. Who are you?
I am delivers the mercy of death. Athro, children of Gaia, Beta of the Sept of the Howling Winds.
Come you with a pure heart to our home, or do you come with challenge?
Pure heart, no challenge.
She'll extend her arm for a shake, the kind where she wants to embrace his forearm.
Yup. And he'll oblige.
Very solid, letting him know that he may enter in peace. And when they step through, there's a small contingent of people. Basically just members of the Elder Council, because Dev is such an important visiting Garu, being the Beta Captain in Athro. There are a few Galliards present. There are a few, as I said, members of the Elder Council, things like that, who are there to receive him respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
But the one person who is there that stands with an authority that literally cannot be ignored is the Alpha. He stands about 7. He's wearing a fine tailored suit, black as night, with a silver and dark blue paisley pocket square, a beautiful silk tie with a paw tie tack, like a wolf paw. It does not look funny or silly. It's actually it's very savage looking. He's standing next to a very dignified older woman, who stands beside him, watching your character just as intently as the elder is. And he'll step forward and look to Dev.
Well, Dev's gonna show his throat because he's not stupid.
He'll nod at him, letting him know that it's okay.
He'll relax.
I am Antonio Cienfuegos, called down the stars to judge by the people, and Alpha of this sept. I'm a son of Grandfather Thunder, Philodox, born to a man and a woman. 2 legs. An elder among the people. This is my wife, Vivian Cienfuegos, kin to our kind. We receive you and extend to you the hospitality of our sept. We'll wait for Dev to introduce himself. Are you there, Adam Game, or did I mess up? Oh no. Are we having a bit of technical difficulties? Possibly. If we are. Oh no. Hello. As he waits for Dev to introduce himself, which should not take long, members of the assembled people basically quietly speak amongst themselves, taking in this visitor from afar. Um, Essentially just getting a feel for him, this new Garu. Some are debating where he's from, what they know about him, who he is, what tales have been told of him. Just curiously watching the two. How much did you miss out of game? Are you there?
Yes.
What'd you miss?
Dropped right after he introduced himself.
I was just waiting for Dev to introduce
I don't know if you... Okay, well, he did introduce himself. I don't know if you caught that.
It did not.
No? Okay.
Nope.
So, yeah, he says, I am delivers the mercy of death. And Athro, children of Gaia, Arun. Beta of the Sept of the Howling Winds, born on 2 legs to a stargazer.
He'll nod. We are honored to have you.
I am honored to be here. Thank you for receiving me.
He'll give him an incline of his head. While you are our guest, my wife Vivian will see to anything that you may need. Please do not hesitate to... Hold on, I'm trying to think of a fancy fucking word he'd use. Please don't hesitate to avail yourself to the hospitality of our Sept. I believe, though, that you came to speak to me.
Sorry, you cut out a little bit. What did you say?
I believe you came to speak to me.
Indeed, I did.
I am pressed for time, but I can give you the afternoon. Why don't you and I adjourn to the parlor?
He'll nod. Thank you.
The 2 doors that are behind the gate will open, and he'll motion for him to proceed.
And he'll walk on through.
He'll follow, and the doors will close, and whatever the hell happens to the other ones, they'll die. No. It's a nice parlor. It's not too large, actually. Ironically and oddly, you'd think this would be a fucking huge ballroom size thing, but it's not terribly large. But it has comfortable seating. There's a piano. There's a fireplace with a fire going on in it. It opens out to a very large window that overlooks the gardens to this estate, which are breathtaking.
Yes. Oh, Dev would be captivated by that.
But he'll come in and he'll there's an Adrian in the room, but he's also doing his exceptional fucking best to not be a presence. And he'll say, "Do you need anything to eat or drink? I know you've long."
Just some water for now.
He'll nod and he'll speak in Spanish, actually, of all things, to the other one. And it's Castilian Spanish, by the way. They're from Spain.
Ooh.
And he'll tell him basically what he told him for the audience is to get a pitcher of water and some like a cheese plate, basically a fruit and cheese plate. He's hungry himself. And he'll basically sit at there's basically two very beautiful sofas kind of facing each other. And he'll lower himself onto it.
Dev will sit on the other one across from him.
And he's just watching him.
Dev is dressed, not formally, but not casually either. More like, I guess, business casual, you could say. He's dressed like he went out on a fucking business trip.
He wore the suit from Birdine's, not the suit from JCPenney's. Got it.
That's right. Yeah.
He wore the Macy's suit, not the Kohl's suit. We gotcha.
Anyway.
He didn't bring Walmart into this bitch, is what you're saying.
Oh, fuck no. God damn it. No, never.
Not even his socks came from fucking Target. You don't think there's anything that came from Target in this house, okay?
Nope.
You're pretty sure that there were zoning laws made to where there are no Targets or Walmarts in the vicinity of this sept. There may be one Starbucks. That's their slumming.
So Dev kind of takes him in for a moment.
There's just so much Pure Breed and Grandfather Thunder's
He's thinking to himself, yep, that's his grandson. Jesus Christ.
And he's very neutral looking. He looks polite. He looks like he's waiting to hear what Dev has to say and has made the afternoon for him, so you're his priority.
Yes. So he'll just take a moment and he'll look to him, not making eye contact, but sorry. And he'll say, there's a very good chance that I'm going to become alpha of my sept very soon. And there is a situation. Well, it's more than a situation. There's a movement happening that I support. But I need your opinion on what to do and how to proceed. And I figure that this could go one of two ways. I'm hoping it's the way I want it to go, but I'm prepared for it to go the other way too.
He'll nod. By my grandson's phone call this morning, I believe I have some idea, but I would prefer if you elaborated and spoke to me on the matter.
Of course.
I don't make assumptions.
Of course. The first law of the litany. A lot of us are growing tired of the oppression of it. Garou afraid to have feelings for one another, for fear of being killed. My tribe sister, a long time ago, fell in love with a Garou, had a Metis. As soon as she got pregnant, he left her and joined the Black Spiral Dancers. Came back a few years later to try and collect his child for their cause. She killed him. It wasn't easy for her to kill a man that she once loved, but she did it. To protect her son from him. A son that she couldn't even raise, though. That's haunted her. In order to save face, she had to foster him out. And now here we are 20 years later, and she's spent her life, the last 20 years, as a den mother, trying desperately to keep cubs from going through what she had to go through by upholding the first law of the litany and scaring them into having feelings for one another. Until two cubs recently. One of them had been experimented on by leeches and Pentex. They wiped away a lot of her memories. All she knew when we rescued her was she knew that she was a Garou. She knew at least what a Garou was. But beyond that, she didn't really know anything else. She didn't know her life before. She didn't know anything. She was sharks, just like a lupus. Having to, honestly worse than a lupus. Having to have her learn everything from scratch. She was basically a blank slate, except she has terrible nightmares. And bits and pieces of her memory has started to come back. We've determined that there has been a supernatural block put on her memory from probably the leeches. Anyway, she fell in love with another cub. And he ended up joining the Children of Gaia. He was one of the brightest souls I've met in a very long time, and he was a Philodox. And they were so innocent and sweet with each other. And the love that they shared was so pure. I honestly had never seen anything like it in my life. But Dazzles had to keep them apart. She even convinced Kate to join a different pack so that they wouldn't be tempted. Shortly after that, Lefty goes and out with his pack mates, attacking Black Spiral Dancers. He attacked one of them on his own, and he got himself killed. From the story I've heard, he had a chance to get away, and he did not. She blames herself for that, for keeping them apart, for causing so much despair that he would rather die than be without her. He shakes his head. After that, Dazzles was devastated at the loss of Lefty. She said that he reminded her a lot of her son. And she was the mother he never got to have. So after that, she decided she wasn't gonna do that anymore. She wasn't gonna keep people apart.
And so
She connect.
He wouldn't have interrupted. If he looked like he was going to keep talking, he wouldn't have said anything. So keep going.
Oh. Yeah, no, he's not done. He's telling the whole story.
No, he has done before.
He's like, I'm not a Galliard, so I'm sorry if this isn't, the best story you've ever heard, but um, she connected with a man who was sort of lost when he came to our sept. He'd been a cub for a very long time, and just attained the rank of Cleoth not too long before he came. And because of the way I understand it, because of how long he spent as a cub, he connected very well with the other cubs, and Dazzles looked at him as possible um, den father material to help her out because, well, both her helpers died, or one died and one disappeared. Her other helper was actually a Shadow Lord. Dazzles was devastated as well. Her full name is Dazzles the Young. She's an Athro, Children of Gaia, Galliard. And I've known her for, God, at least 20 years, if not longer. We didn't pack together for various reasons, but anyway. So she ended up falling for him. And he fell for her as well. He'll smile. Complicated. But they decided that at first she was going to be a surrogate for him and his kinfolk husband. So that they could have a child. But as they grew closer, they decided that why should they let... They didn't want to let the first law of the litany or oppression get in the way of them wanting to have a child together. So they made the decision, knowing full well what they were getting into, conceive a Metis on purpose. That was about a month ago. Since then, several Garu have taken notice and started to be more comfortable to voice their own opinions against the first law of the litany, and decided that they weren't going to let it hold them back anymore. And there are now several Garu pairings straight and not in the sept.
"15 years ago, if you had brought these words to me, my pack and I would have entered your sept, put you all to the right of Gaia's vengeful teeth, and handed it over to our younger packs to cut their teeth on.
He swallows a little bit.
And no one would have stopped us."
He'll nod.
What is the purpose of law? That's not rhetorical. I'm asking you.
Well, the purpose of law is supposed to mitigate behavior to give balance and structure to people because they need it. Been in my experience, though, that most laws are used to control rather than guide. They're supposed to guide. They're supposed to be guidelines for us to live our lives.
He'll look to see if he can speak.
He'll nod.
In a free society, is the government the rule of law as opposed to the arbitrary and whim-ridden rule of man. It serves the purpose to protect the rights of the smallest minority that exists, the individual. In a free society, it's the actions of the ruling body and not the actions of the citizens that regulate. Laws form the non-contradictory body of principled legislation, which is supposed to hold those innocent until guilty according to objective standard, as opposed to an insinuation of regulations and when law no longer protects the people, the individual, when a law is broken in and of itself because it has become broken, then what is the right course of action? Well, we can look back at what Thomas Jefferson said. If a law is unjust, a man is not only right to disobey it, he's obligated to do so. The laws of the nation, I don't think most people realize nor recognize. Name one governing body of law that has stood unchanged for centuries. There are none. And if our laws worked, we wouldn't be dying as though the God machine sits on our necks and breathes down our backs. I can look at every single law of the litany and support. I can see how every one is valid and serves the nation, save the first. Who does it protect? What is its purpose? How does it serve the nation? It's not protecting our kinfolk. They're treated as breeding stock. It's not protecting our warriors. They're dying. It certainly isn't protecting our seps. Our seps shouldn't be found in the first place. Ergo, a small Krenos child walking around on sept, although yes, prone to rage, not uncontrollable, should be a non-factor. So who is it protecting? No one. It serves no purpose. It weakens us. And it objectifies our kinfolk. I serve as a judge of doom. My life is given undue purpose to serve the litany and protect it. It's what I vowed to do. It is what I have spent my blessed life doing. And in order to sometimes serve the greater good and to protect something, one must understand that it do change. So that the body of it is not contested to the point that the greater whole falls. If that one law can be hacked as it is, then the rest of the law falls with it. The error in it and the way that it contradicts the rest of the laws is no longer ignorable. It is no longer something that we cannot pay attention to. Respect all those beneath, all of Gaia. And yet Metis are considered a second-class citizen amongst us, if not straight out killed. Do not take action to cause a Karen to be violated. Putting the warriors under your own blade, weakening them, breaking apart families, leaving your kin unable to perform their basic duties because they suffer. This law should have been done away with quite some time ago. It should have never existed. Unfortunately, it took my blood being spilt for me to see that. It took my granddaughter almost dying. It took my great-granddaughter being put to the blade before she drew her first breath. As someone who has made his vow to protect the litany, I can no longer stand in support of the first law. But I am one Garu, and you are one Sept. And my pack, though, does agree with me. And though the judges realize the futility of the adherence of the first law, you cannot bring about change without shattering the pattern. It will hurt. And you will break over and over again. And your sept will be attacked. Over and over again. You may die for what you see as a just cause. But as a leader of this sept, your voice can never falter. You must be convicted in your belief, and you must show that conviction. If you believe that you are right, and that this is the path that the Garu Nation needs to go down, in order to save ourselves from ourselves, never let your voice be silenced. And he'll sit back.
I will say that that wasn't exactly what I expected to hear, but
Shrug gently.
I had a long conversation with your grandson last night.
He makes a little noise of ill temper.
He's he'll kind of smile. He definitely shows that he knows what he's talking about. His ability to make me think and see things from different angles, which he's the only reason why I even considered talking to you. If you would have told me a week ago to talk to a Judge of Doom, I would have said, fuck no. That's a one-way ticket to hell. But he told me that it might do some good to talk to you. And because of his ability to perform well with his chosen auspice, I definitely took him up on the offer, and I'm glad that I did. Thank you for your words.
You're welcome.
We have a long way to go.
You do. And it was not something that should probably be achieved in your lifetime.
Probably not. But if we can be the catalyst, I'm definitely fine going down in Garou history for that.
Do you have anything else you need wisdom on?
He thinks for a moment. The very same person that I was talking to you about and his kinfolk husband. His kinfolk husband is Geta Fenris. And he was forcibly mated to a female Garou. And
Tight? His jaw goes tight.
he was abused heavily. He even caught her claws a few times. But they had a child. And he was completely in love with her. But he could no longer deny who he was. So he told her. He thought that with the birth of their child, and she seemed to relax after she was born, that she would be more understanding or forgiving. That wasn't the case. Told her that he told her that he was gay, and she took their daughter from him. Said that being gay was of the worm, and she didn't want her daughter around that taint. Took her away. And that was 7 years ago. He's utterly traumatized. He still has nightmares of flashbacks. And he misses his child.
Who is this man's blood? Who are his elders to his line?
His uncle is actually the warder of my sept. Lupus punches all the faces.
And what standing does he have amongst the people, and what standing does the mother have?
Mother is an Adrian Arun. Um, oh, forgot her fucking name. One moment, please.
Hell, I don't care again. Like he can blind.
I have it written down. I just need to find it. Yes. I need. Her name is Astrid Sorensen. The child's name is Erica Sorensen or Larson. The kinfolk's name is Nicholas Larson.
So the mother is an Adrin, and his uncle is, you said the warder faces Athro.
Athro.
Then you
Athro.
a very simple solution. Advise punches all the faces. He's saying advise politely. What he means is tell him.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the sept and claim his blood. He is Athro. He can claim this child and bring her back. If the mother fights it, then tell her all of her crimes will come to bear.
He the look on his face is like, why the fuck didn't I think of that?
Yeah, he'll just smile softly. It's the first time you've seen him smile. It's like the teeniest corner of his lips. But he just, it's, we're aware of the fact that there's a shadow of a smile on his face. Respect.
He'll nod.
They'll say respect the territory of another.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
He'll nod at him politely. And if she continues her business, he'll smile softly. An unspoken word to Dev of you know who to call.
Dev will smile and he'll nod. I believe that would conclude our business.
A smile. Again, it's that little soft shadow of a smile. You're not positive he's smiling, but he doesn't have the quite cold sneer on his face that he normally has. Then I invite you to sup with my wife and my son and I, his wife.
I'll nod.
You've traveled far.
Thank you.
Tired, you can make your way for home in the morning.
Okay.
He'll get up. Escort him to the door. He'll look over. Yeah, he'll look over at the Adrin and give him a small nod. And he'll take him to the family dining room for dinner. And Do you have anything you want to say in closing?
Nope, Dev's just kind of processing all of the information he's received.
Okey-dokey. So, thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Goodbye.